Hello and welcome to an all-new Salt and Light Hour. I'm Deacon Pedro.
Emilie Callan.
I'm Billy Chan.
You didn't say I'm Emilie Callan. You just said Emilie Callan.
Well, because I figured I just needed to,
You are
Okay.
who you are, right?
Okay, it is. But I can understand why she can be confused, a little, distracted today, Billy, because
We have new things.
Yes.
we have new things. So this room is distracting because it's not just a bare wall anymore. Of course, our listeners can't see the room. Maybe we can direct them to a video or a photo.
Hopefully it works.
That you can go to our website, saltandlighttv.org/radio. Or on Facebook, Salt and Light.
Definitely.
We're on Facebook, Billy.
All the media platform.
Instagram, Twitter, and we can put a photo or a video or something of our room so you can see our nice acoustic panels. We have lamps. We have all these CDs.
And we have a new person
behind her. And no, there's no person here. There's no person here holding a camera. So our studio is improving. Hopefully the program doesn't need improving because it's already the best.
I was going to say
radio
it's also
program in the Catholic world. Yeah, okay.
Very
Whatever.
nice.
I don't know. But Emily, Billy and I were talking the other day
Yes.
about how insecure we are about this
what?
program and about what we do. And we
Why,
need people
guys?
to write us.
And I get
We need people to write us.
Oh, yeah,
because
you're right.
We need
it's
the
like
affirmation.
Nobody ever writes to say, hey, that was a great show. If it was a horrible show, they'll write and tell you that was a horrible show or that was something stupid. But if it's really good, nobody says, hey, we love the show. We listen to the show. So what I would like people to do
right now.
right now, if you're listening to, unless you're driving, don't, unless you want to pull over and pull out your phone. But if you're listening to it on the radio, do this when you get home. But if you're listening to it online or podcasting or off iTunes or however you're consuming this program, send us a message. And there are various ways that you can do that. Email being probably the easiest, although
Yes.
who uses email anymore? radio@saltandlighttv.org, radio@saltandlighttv.org. My personal Twitter is @DeaconPedroGM. If you want to use Twitter, Billy is
At B Joe Chan.
so that's the letter B, the name Joe.
Joe
Chan.
CHAN.
Yeah, BJoeChan @BJoeChan. And Emily, you are?
At Emilie Callan. I think
Em-
that's pretty straightforward. EMI Callan, CALLAN.
Yes, in French.
Yeah.
So
Not
you can
really,
reach
actually.
all of us on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook, Deacon Pedro. Billy, I don't know if you're on Facebook.
Yeah, but
Whatever. I don't
don't
know
wanna
if you don't want
advertise
people to
that.
reach you on Facebook. But anyway, you can look for Deacon Pedro on Facebook, and I'll make sure that if you want to share something with Billy, I'll pass it on. So
Please.
right now, write to us. What do you want people to tell us?
just say anything. I mean, for the sake of making me happy, right?
I don't really know how I can improve. I just want to know that
I actually,
Yeah.
great.
I just want to know that people are listening to the show. So if
Yes.
you're listening to the show, if you listen to the show the first time or the last, hopefully not the last time, or if you listen to the show as much as you can, or you podcast the show, or you look forward to know like what the show's going to be about.
Yes.
You love
Anything,
Salt and Light. Just
yeah.
write to us so that we know, so that we don't feel bad about what we're doing, and despair. And we need you to do it now. Don't think that you're going to do it later. Don't think, 100 other people are going to do it, so I'm not going to do it. No, we need you right now to send an email.
If not you, then who?
If not you, then who? Wow.
Wow.
Send us a
It's a
Twitter
poem.
message. Okay, so there you go. That's it. We will remind you throughout the show to keep doing this. And we have a jam-packed show today. Emily,
Yeah.
do any headlines on the news?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Well, the Pope is in Egypt.
exactly. So, going to talk mainly about that.
Okay, good.
As well, the Ontario bishops were
Yes.
with the Pope this week. They did their ad limina visit, so we're going to talk about that as
Good,
well.
great. Now, I think we need to break the news, and I'm sorry to say this, that we do not record this program live. The illusion has been broken.
Pedro,
We actually record this
We
program.
talked about this.
No, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but we record this program every Wednesday, and so it makes some things a little difficult. We're not going to pretend that it's live. You might be listening to this program on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, especially if it's on the radio. If you're podcasting, you can listen to it whenever you want. But we tape it on Wednesday, which means that I think we're going to start in the weeks to come. Start letting people know, hey, this is what we're thinking we're going to talk about, so that you can send us more emails and more
Yes.
messages telling us what you think about what we're going to do. So we didn't do that this week, but we will in the future. So it's Wednesday today that we're recording this. On the weekend, the Pope will be in Egypt. And we're going to talk about on Wednesday, we're going to talk about what the Pope is going to do in Egypt and pretend
that we know.
what's going on, because you're hearing it on Saturday.
So you see a big thing?
Egypt.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's
It's huge, right?
It's huge, and Emily's going to tell us all about it
Great.
in about 2 minutes.
Film it.
Yes.
In 2 minutes, and after Emily tells us all about that, Billy is going to have his segment, Church for
Dummies.
Dummies. So what are we going to talk about today, Billy?
Last week we had the really long mass, right? Easter vigil. Is it very long?
Yes, it was
Very,
three,
very
three
long.
hours.
Usually a long
Yeah,
one.
but I would like to know more about mass because of
Okay.
that.
The Mass.
So we are going to talk about the order of mass and how can we prepare it.
Okay, sounds good. And it sounds like we're going to talk about the Mass, not just today, but in the weeks to come, because there's a lot to talk about there. So that's Church for Dummies with Billy Chan in about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes. And then today, Sebastian Gomes is back with a Connect 5 segment. He's speaking with Father Peter Galadza, which I'm sure you know who he is. He's a liturgy professor at the Szeptycki Institute, which I'm sure you know where that is. It's actually in Ottawa. He's an expert in Eastern Christian studies, and at this I can't even pronounce it. The Szeptycki
Sorry, I can't help you
Institute
there.
of Eastern Christian Studies is an institute of St. Paul University in Ottawa,
Okay.
Ontario. So he's an expert in Eastern Christian studies, and they're going to be speaking about the significance of the meeting between Pope Francis and Patriarch Kirill, or Cyril. I never know how to pronounce that.
I think people say both.
People say Kirill.
In
who's-
French, we say Cyril.
Cyril, yeah.
Cyril.
He's the primate of the Russian Orthodox Church. If you remember, they met in Cuba a couple years ago. And that's at the end of our first half hour. Now, in our second half hour, you guys, we're going to talk about a devotion that I'm going to ask you, maybe I should ask the camera. Do you have a special devotion to the Divine Mercy? Do you guys?
Not
I love putting people on the spot.
Not
a little bit.
specifically.
I do
Yeah.
actually. There's an image of the Divine Mercy
Yeah.
right in front of our kitchen table at home.
Oh, really?
And I like to
Right.
look at it when I'm having breakfast in the morning.
It's a devotion that I prefer. I don't want to say that I prefer it to the Rosary, but I do. So in the second half hour, we're going to be speaking with producer David Nalieri of the Knights of Columbus and Samantha Wallace, who's the social media coordinator for the Knights of Columbus, about a new video series called Mercy Stories. And these are stories that it's a series that shines a light on Catholics whose lives have been transformed by their devotion to divine mercy and connects their stories with the story of Saint Faustina, who was, of course, the saint who received the message of divine mercy. So that's going to be in our second half hour. If you haven't heard of Mercy Stories, go right now to your computer, #Mercy Stories, and find out more. And then lastly, a few times in this program, we've had singers whose voices have been described as voices of angels a few times, not a lot. And today's featured artist is one whose voice, again, has been described as voice of an angel. This voice belongs to a 14-year-old Irish
incredible.
young man by the name of Cathal Gavin. And I'm not going to say any more because we're going to actually, you get to listen to it for yourself. Here is Cathal Gavin with Sarah McLaughlin's In the Arms of an Angel from his album, Voice of an Angel.